Coming up on Western Sports Roundup, we've got some breaking news to share with you Cowboy Channel fans. That is the World of Professional Rodeo. The Hall of Fame class has been announced. We will have it for you.
And coming up on Western Sports Roundup today, we will talk about rookies. It is Resistol Rookie Tuesday, and there are a few rookies, particularly in the riding events, that are red hot. Stay with us. We've got the details on the way.
Rodeo action over the weekend took us to Watford City, North Dakota. That was the home of the PRCA's Extreme Bears and Broncs action. Couple big scores, couple big rides, some big wins to tell you about. That and a whole lot more coming up here on Western Sports Roundup.
Colby Wanchuk, Angel Cat. Look at him go, look at the stroke. From the front end to the back end. A frog rider's dream right here.
Well, good afternoon, everybody. Welcome to Western Sports Roundup. Alongside Ty McClary, I'm Steve Kenyon. And this is, I think, Ty, one of the best days of the year for us on Western Sports Roundup because we get to spend the next few minutes recognizing the 2026 class of inductees into the ProRodeo Hall of Fame.
Yeah, it's such huge news, Steve, that we get to share with everyone. Sure, there's world championships on the line, all that kind of stuff that comes with the world of professional rodeo. But when you get that call to be inducted into ProRodeo's Hall of Fame, I'm going to say that's going to have to put you up there pretty close to the top of what you've done in your career. It is breaking news for us here on Western Sports Roundup, just like we like to share. And there's a look at it. We're going to do our best to kind of break a lot of it down, but wow, the names to talk about, Steve Kenyon.
Absolutely. So let's talk with a fellow who is very, very familiar with the Hall of Fame. He is one of the directors and one of the trustees of the ProRodeo Hall of Fame. In 2016, himself an inductee into the ProRodeo Hall of Fame. Dave Appleton, our friend, joins us. And Dave, you just got to look at that list. And from Butch Myers to our friend Jeff Metters to the great horse Killer Bee, Mary Berger in the barrel race. I think this is a really impressive class.
Well, is there such a thing as an unimpressive class when you get to go into the Hall of Fame? I know you can say that every year. I mean, and that's the greatness about rodeo is that there are so many great deserving people that you sit there and you never ever do run out of what you call people deserving. I mean, just take alone this year. We had 53 different nominations alone just for 2026 that came in for people being nominated into the Hall of Fame. And every nomination that's made is good for 3 years. So you've got a couple of probably 150 people or stock contractors, you name it, that's available to win that honor. And it's pretty hard to go down to a short list of saying, oh, no, this year, this is all who gets in there because it's a tough list, and by golly, it's great to see this list.
The Women's Professional Rodeo Association takes 2 spots each year of inductees, and this year, a pair of world champions, one from the 1960s, Ty, one from 2006, and again from 2016. That's Loretta Manuel from 1963 and 1967, and Mary Berger from 2006 and 2016.
Yeah, 2 world championships for Mary Berger as well, for 2 different horses, too, by the way. Mo and Fred is what helped take her to those world championships. I think that's pretty cool. The fact when you talk about Mary, Dave, that's a 10-year span right there between those 2 world championships. And oh, by the way, I know the ladies don't always love and appreciate for us talking about their age, but that second world title came when she was 68 years old.
Yeah, how about that? Hey, I'm 66. Look out. I've got to crack back out. You know, that's the best thing about it is age is limitless in the barrel racing. And what a great testimony. Like you said, the ages between the times of the World Championships, when she got the horse, she was there.
Yeah. So let's talk about some of the gentlemen on this list. Our friend Jeff Metters. Butch Knowles went into the Hall of Fame a couple of years ago, and now Jeff gets to join him. They have been partners at the NFR for 30 years. Congratulations to Jeff.
Well, it is. I mean, I think personally, I nominated him. I'll go out on the limb and say that. And it was the most deserved person, I think, that's been in the sport of rodeo that's been overlooked. If you stop and look at the body of work that Jeff Metters has done, for the years that he has done the Hall of Fame, he was a slam dunk. I mean, done the rodeo and what he's done for rodeo. I mean, Jeff was, I quit rodeoing 100 years ago, and Jeff was already doing rodeos then. Yeah. And he still carried everything forward, and his impact on this sport and how he's created fans. He may not have climbed on one, but he definitely climbed on enough chairs to watch them that he He can tell everybody what it's all about, and he's created more fans than perhaps most, even rodeo, did, because he's got such a natural style, and I'm so excited and so proud for him.
Contestants: Butch Myers in the steer wrestling, Jerome Davis in the bull riding, Bobby Goodspeed, who's a talented tie-down roper. Goes back a few more years.
Yeah, it's really good. And that's the thing, whether you're talking about the World Championships, whether you're talking about Killer B and the great bucking horse of the Butler String, there's Jerome Davis that we'll watch, one of the great bull riders. That guy was just, I don't know, he was some of the thing about Jerome to me, and this would go with a lot of these guys, but not only a heck of a bull rider, but a heck of a good guy as well, Dave Appleton.
Quality human being. I mean, you know, his riding career got cut short, of course, with that freak accident that happened in Fort Worth that left him paralyzed in a chair. But what a great talent. We're 1995 world champion. I mean, he was a face that was going to set all kinds of records within the sport, and then just such a great guy. And he wasn't from cowboy country.
No,
I mean, that's the great thing about it. He came from a different spot. And Butch Myers, I will be honest to tell you, I was stunned when I saw Butch's name up there, because I thought he was already in the Hall of Fame.
For sure, yeah.
That's the craziness about it. So many great cowboys that were forgotten, and what a lineage. I mean, Butch's family goes back to Ty Murray's family. Ty Murray's family goes back to Butch's family.
And I think I'm right in what I'm about to say. His grandson, Holden Myers, just became the first Myers to win the Houston Livestock Show on rodeo.
Yep.
That's we actually interviewed him. We interviewed Holden last week, and his dad, Rope, had not won it, but Butch did win. Butch had won Rodeo Houston. In fact, we teased with Holden a little bit, like, oh, you can kind of hang that over Rope's head. But the lineage of that family is what's interesting. That's what I love about it. Remember, Quade Hyatt is a part of that family now, tie-down roper that's been in the national finals rodeo, so it goes on with the Myers family.
Okay, so we're going to run out of time in this block right here, but I want to make sure we talk about stock and stock contractors. Ike Sankey, who's another one who I would have looked at that list and thought, wow, Ike's probably already in there, right? And the great horse Killer B of the Butler and Sons.
Well, Killer B was, what can you say about her? I mean, when she was in the bareback riding, I guarantee you, she made every row behind the buck and chutes go jingle, jingle, jingle.
For sure. Isn't that the truth?
She was a beast. And in fact, I told Benny Butler that she should have won a heck of a lot more World Championship buckles than ever. She was a rank one animal, and just a great joy to have in the sport. And San Angelo is another one. Hey, the rodeo.
And that rodeo is about to start.
About to start.
From the Butler family, there are two animals, Killer B and Commotion, and there are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There are 7 human beings that have all found their way into the Hall of Fame one way or the other. That's the impact that the Butlers have had. So there is a complete look at the list. We haven't had a chance to highlight everybody, but congratulations to this year's Classic Hall of Famers. Keith Isley won his first Clown of the Year award in 1999 and his last one in 2020. We talked about our friend Jeff Netters earlier. Jeff received a phone call from Tom Glaus, the CEO of the Professional Rodeo Cowboys Association, giving him the news. Here's what it sounded like.
Hey, Jeff. What you up to?
What are you doing?
Oh, shoot. We're just gathered here today, making some Hall of Fame selections, and wondered if you would be willing to do those videos for us again.
Oh, 1,000% yes. You betcha.
Well, we're wondering.
1,000%.
Well, you know, the big question is, who's going to do your video?
I don't know that I need one.
Well, I'm calling to congratulate you and let you know you've been selected for this year's Hall of Fame induction class.
That kind of leaves me speechless. Absolutely, wow.
Well,
you're lowering the bar, Tom.
No, shoot, I think you've set the bar very high for a very long time, Jeff, and our industry is fortunate to have had you promoting the sport. I think you've elevated the sport, and we're honored that you're going to be inducted into the Hall of Fame.
Oh, I am so honored. It's been an amazing ride, I can tell you. It's just so many good experiences, so many great people, and you know, it's every time I show up to the floor, I know it's not a ride, it's a privilege, and I'm just thrilled to be a part of it. And man, I was honored just to be nominated, so I'm blown away.
That is just yesterday when CEO, the PRCA, the CEO, Tom Glaus, reached out to Jeff Metters to let him know that he was inducted. Of course, Jeff joins us now on Western Sports Roundup. Jeff, not only all three of us sitting at this desk about to conduct this interview with you consider you friends, I know me speaking personally, I wouldn't be sitting where I'm at today without our friendship and what you've done, not only for me, but all of us. But what you've done for the world of professional rodeo, it just seems like it goes on and on. And for the fact for you to say when Tom Glaus calls you that you're speechless, we've been listening to you and Butch Knowles for 30 years at the National Finals Rodeo. How in the world could you ever be speechless?
If you've been listening to me and Butch, you know darn good and well that I speak when spoken to. That's pretty much it. But I thought Tom maybe had the wrong number or the wrong Jeff. So yeah, that's a moment that you'll remember all your life.
Jeff, we've known each other a long time and go back, but a lot of people may not realize just how much of an impact you've had on rodeo. What was the first rodeo that Jeff Metters ever did, just to give some people the length and the breadth of your career?
Well, it would have been the 1991 Ram National Circuit Finals Rodeo. That's the first rodeo that Butch Knowles and I did together on the Wrangler World of Rodeo, which aired on ESPN. Butch was still riding; he was still competing. What's pretty funny is he made the championship round. So we actually, I don't think we're fooling anybody, but so when it got to bronc riding, I'd have to say, well, Butch he's going to have to compete, and I had to do the whole freaking saddle bronc riding by myself, and probably wasn't even remotely had the expertise to even begin to do that. So yeah, it was the Ram National Circuit Finals Rodeo from Pocatello, Idaho, in the spring of 1991.
Jeff, you are surrounded. I was joking with you yesterday that you actually should not plan on saying anything during this interview because the three of us are the ones that are doing the interview, and we were just going to tell Jeff stories. But the partnership that you and Butch have developed has been now, you mentioned 1991. It's a 30-plus year friendship, partnership. I don't know that there are a lot of people that can imagine listening to the NFR without the voices of Jeff and Butch. Have you ever thought of it in those terms, that you've had that much of an impact and that much of a reach?
Well, you know what's crazy about it? In 1991, the plan basically was just for me to do the regular season. And Wintercom had planned on Chris Lincoln, who was their main talent, to do the NFR with Butch that December. And as we got through the regular season, it felt like the chemistry between Butch and I was strong enough that they didn't really want to mess with that. So Chris was kind of the host, and Butch and I, obviously sat down there in those chairs, and we've occupied them ever since. And I joke all the time. He's carried me a long time. He still has the whip marks from where the jockey was whipping him. But he's just one of those guys that he's fantastic. He's been an amazing co-host. He's what you see is what you get. He's a great analyst because he can work either side of the arena. He was just perfect for a broadcaster who knew just enough about rodeo to be dangerous, to team up with and build that kind of a partnership.
Jeff, not only what you've done to continue, as you still do today, to bring the sport of rodeo into people's homes, at their home where they can watch, whether it's the National Finals Rodeo or the Calgary Stampede or all the great rodeos that you've done over these years. But I've heard you mention this before, the contestants that you've seen come through the world of professional rodeo in that 30-plus year career that continues for you today. I mean, go back to I don't care if it's this guy sitting beside us, Dave Appleton, if it's Ty Murray, if it's Tuff Hedeman, Trevor Brazil, the Cody Ohl, the Fred Whitfields, now the Stetson Wrights and the Riley Webbs. The list just goes on, and you've got to have a front row seat to each and every one of those.
It's been so fun. And you know what, Ty, and you know as well as I do, what makes it great are those athletes themselves. Whether they're as high profile as a Ty Murray or somebody that's down around the 15th, 14th, 13th spot, you like and you love all of them. And what's great about it is, if you call them, they answer your call. They'll I have guys that will call me while I'm on the air during the national finals rodeo. Cody O will call me and say, I'm going to win tonight, or text me, and they're just great people to be around. But yeah, I mean, I've watched dynasties rise and fall, from Ty Murray to, Jake and Clay, Speed and Rich. Trevor Brazil did things that will probably never ever be done again. And Casey Field, and the list just goes on. And what's great about it is I was able to call the action, while they built that dynasty. But thank goodness we're all still friends today.
Jeff, everyone talks about being an all-star broadcast crew. After yesterday, you're a Hall of Fame all-star broadcast crew. That's got to be pretty neat when you look at you, Butch, Luke Branquino, Donnie Gay. I mean, I guess you could say all those above 50. You've got that young team of young talent around you, but that's got to be pretty neat that when you can surround yourself with that kind of talent, and now you are part of that talent as far as a Hall of Famer.
Well, thanks for pointing out that up till now I was the weakest link. But it's been so much fun to do TV with all those guys, because they're just their expertise is off the charts, and and I love working with the team that we built at the Cowboy channel over that 5 years. I love always doing TV with Steve Kenyon and with Ty and with you, Dave, and Katie Lucas and Janie Johnson, and then everybody that kind of came in with me as we started, in 2020. The Joe B. I love doing TV with Joe B. Can't imagine, doing the national finals rodeo without him. Luke's so much fun, and Donnie Gay. I mean, I'm a fan of who he is and what he does, and I love him being on the team, and it's an honor. And I think I have been the weakest link. I'm kind of just the guy that just kind of pushes the conversation from here to there. I let them, make all the expert analysis and do what they do, and I just try to not get in their way.
Jeff, if you this is all brand new over the last 24 hours, this news that you are a part of the 2026 class of the ProRodeo Hall of Fame. But in the middle of July, during the Pikes Peak or Bust Rodeo at the NFR Open in Colorado Springs, you're going to have the opportunity to stand up in front of Cowboy Channel's cameras and a lot of people in the audience and talk about your career. Have you thought about what you're going to say?
I'm going to be honest with you, Steve. I'm going to cheat. I'm a cheater because I get to do the videos. It's kind of hard to talk about me. I like to talk about other people, so it's hard. I don't want to get choked up. So when I do the video, I'm going to thank the people that I need to thank and get all the emotional stuff out of the way. And I plan to just tell a few stories of the funny things that have happened over the last 30 years. And as long as I have to talk about me and keep it personal, I'm pretty good. But I will cheat and put most of that kind of stuff in the video.
Oh, we can't wait to hear exactly what you are going to say. By the way, if you need any help from us, we'll be there to help you. Anything you need, old friend, we're there for you. So, Jeff, congratulations. Thanks for taking time to visit with us today. It's going to be huge, and we're just really, really proud of you, obviously, as friends, and congratulations on a huge honor getting inducted into ProRodeo's Hall of Fame.
I love all three of you guys, and thanks so much. And it's an honor, and I was thrilled to be a part of your show today.
Jeff Metters, congratulations. 2026 class of ProRodeo Hall of Fame, and the induction ceremonies will take place in Colorado Springs. And Dave, because you've had a chance to be the MC, that is a great day. It's one of the most nerve-wracking days for some of the people who have to stand up in front of the audience and tell stories, but it's a great day in Colorado Springs. Thank you for your time today.
You bet. And all I'll say about being inducted into the Hall of Fame, I was lucky enough to be inducted, and I've been lucky enough to be the host of it. It is truly every person's greatest day of the year when it comes to their rodeo career, and I can't wait for this year's class.
Dave, thank you. Congratulations to each and every one of them getting inducted into ProRodeo's Hall of Fame. Stay with us here on Western Sports Roundup. When we come back, it's Rookie Tuesday, just like it is each and every week here on Western Sports Roundup. We will talk rookies, what happened over the weekend. Some of them are climbing the ladder. We'll tell you about it coming up.
And coming up, we'll take you to Watford City, North Dakota, where a record was set, an arena record set by Jess Pope. The saddle bronc riding, well, it was absolutely outstanding. We'll give you all the details on the way on Western Sports Roundup. Western Sports Roundup is brought to you by Resistol, the official hat of the PRCA and Cowboys everywhere.
Western Sports Roundup is brought to you by Rock and Roll Denim. Live boldly. Live in rock and roll denim.
Well, welcome back here to Western Sports Roundup. Like we do each and every Tuesday, we like to highlight the rookies. That is the young folks in the world of professional rodeo and what the year is looking like for them as we're creeping up on the month of April. And Steve, when you think about it, we've been talking about it already this year, this rookie class in quite a few different events.
Yeah.
They're pretty strong.
In the tie-down roping for sure, and in the bull riding, we get to highlight both of them. Ace Reese over the weekend in Austin, Texas. This young man is 19 years old. He is the 16th ranked tie-down roper in all of pro rodeo. You're watching him be 9'8". He was third in the aggregate at Austin, won $11,396, and right now he has moved to the #1 spot in the Resistol Rookie of the Year
He
race.
was second in round number 1 there in Austin. He tied a calf in 7-7. He made it all the way to a wild card round at Rodeo Houston. There's a look at it, and these guys have really just been flopping back and forth over the past couple of months between he and Brody Clemens, Kai and Will Hyde as well. Your top 3 in that Resistol rookie race in the tie-down roping. The bull riding gets pretty interesting there as well.
Yeah, we've got a really good rookie class of bull riders. Is it as good as last year's? It sent 4 to the NFR. We'll find out. Braxton Weitzel in the PRCA, according to Pro Bull Stats, he's riding 60% of his bulls. That is a really high riding percentage, particularly for an 18-year-old kid. He is number 2 in the rookie race, number 6 in the world standings. You're watching him be 85.5 here in the finals at the Rodeo in Austin.
Yeah, he's from Louisiana, and of course he ended up 3rd there at Rodeo Austin. This guy was 2nd at Arcadia, won the Okeechobee Extreme Bulls, but here's another one to talk about, and that is Noah Lee. Remember, he just turned 18 right there in January. He actually got his permit. He filled his permit, Steve, when he went to Bull Nance at the Lazy E and said, okay, that's good enough. I'm going to buy my card. And ever since then, he has been on a tear.
He is 3rd in the Resistol Rookie of the Year race. He is 24th in the world standings. He is the 18-year-old son of 2004 PBR world champion Mike Lee. He's gotten on 11 bulls in the PRCA. He's ridden 9 of them, and 7 of those 9 rides have been for 87 points or more.
I'm telling you, that kid just keeps doing it. All right, Brady Turgeon, he's another one. All Liquored Up was his dance partner this past weekend where they set a new arena record at the bull riding in Ivins, Utah. How about that? 93 points, won over 14,000 on just that single ride right there.
Yeah, he's 22 years old. He's a little bit older than those other young men that we talked about. Number 5 in the rookie race. Here's a look at it. You look at those top 5. Hayden Welsh, still the guy they're chasing at 66,000. Braxton Weitzel, Noah Lee, Kobe Olsen from Idaho, and Brady Turgeon. They are your top 5 right now.
Well, you're looking at one of the young rookies that we've been talking about in this bull riding class for the 2026 season. That is Brady Turgeon that is joining us here on Western Sports Roundup. And Brady, we had to get you on because, my goodness, did you have a big weekend in Utah at the bull riding? Not just I'm going to say a good weekend or a big weekend, but an arena record-setting weekend. What do you remember back from the bull riding at Ivins, Utah?
Well, that bull definitely took care of me, man. That was an awesome bull of Andrews. He threw everything but a knife at me, it felt like, and I just kind of rode jump for jump on him, and he took care of the rest.
We're taking a look at you right here, and this bull's going to turn back right there. That gets a lot of bull riders on the ground when that happened. Did you know that was coming?
No, that was all feel, that bull ride. I just made my moves with intention and kind of just Hail Mary moved that one.
Man, it was a pretty good Hail Mary then. $14,000 later, and you're the champ from riding that National Finals Rodeo. Andrews Rodeo, Buck and Bull, all liquored up there at Ivins, Utah over the weekend. What did you study up on that bull? Did you kind of figure some things out about him? I knew you, I read the story on ProRodeo.com. You had some buddies that had actually just got on him. In fact, he bucked a couple guys off at Rodeo Houston just prior to you getting on him in Utah. So what were the studies? What did it look like before you did actually compete on that bull?
Well, I definitely looked him up on the bull stats, and I was very impressed by him. I knew I drew deep down in Ivins, so I talked to Hayes Waite, and he got me a lot of insight on just how, just to cock my hammer and mean it every single jump on him. And I kind of took it from there. I wanted to just trust my stuff and let my actions do the talking.
Brady, I'd like to ask you to tell us the Brady Turgeon story, if you would. You just got done winning over $14,000 in Ivins, Utah. You are number 5 in a loaded class of rookies in the Resistol Rookie of the Year race right now. And this is I thought last year's was a great class of rookie bull riders. This year's is as good, maybe better. We'll see how things go. Tell us kind of how you got to this point at the age of 22, where you're one of the 5 best rookies and maybe one of the best bull riders, period. It's in all of pro rodeo right now.
Well, that's a lot to say, man. I mean, there's a lot of hands out, 2026. I got into the World Finals in 2023 and had a little run there for the PBR, and that took a good bit there. That was definitely a lot to handle for a little 19-year-old kid, but I learned from that and kind of slowed down, hit circuit rodeos the last couple of years, and just really dialed in on believing in myself and what I can accomplish. And I'm shooting for the moon this year.
Brady, when we talk about rookies, a lot of times we're talking about the guys and gals that are 18, that are 19 years old. But as Steve just mentioned, you are 22, so I know you spent some time at the PBR, but is that part of the reason, basically, that you're just now getting your card at 22 years old? Like I said, you've got a couple years age on probably a lot of those other rookie guys that are, as I mentioned, 18 and 19.
So I had a good bit of Arizona guys that circuit rodeoed, hit the rodeo hard, and kind of knew PRCA in that aspect. And I wanted to try to stay on my permit as long as I could, and try to just dial in kind of the fundamentals of PRCA. There's a lot that goes into it, and I felt this year was the year to just unleash what I could do and just, like I said, shoot for the moon. And so far it's treating me pretty dang well.
So as we understand it, Brady, you're a bull rider with a full-time job, and your boss gave us a half day off gave you a half day off so you can talk to us. We appreciate you, and we appreciate your boss giving us that opportunity, and continued success, Brady Turgeon. Congratulations on a great showing in Ivins, Utah with that 93-point ride, and we look forward to watching you ride and continued opportunities maybe to visit with you after some more big wins.
I appreciate you guys giving me the call and letting me get that half day off of work.
We're glad to help any way we can, Brady. Congratulations again. Stay with us when we come back. The Extreme Bears and Broncs event took place in Watford City, North Dakota. We'll have those winners for you in just a moment.
Well, as we have kicked off today's show, we do so with the announcement of the 2026 class of inductees to the Pro Rodeo Hall of Fame. Butch Myers, he is one of those inductees. Jeff Metters joins his partner, Butch Knowles, Killer B, the great bucking horse from the Butler & Sons. Keith Isley in the contract personnel category. That is in a very impressive list.
It definitely is. Couple barrel racers in there as well, like always. Mary Berger, Loretta Manuel, Troy Weekly getting the Ken Stimler Pioneer Award. I mean, the list goes on and on. July 18th is when it's going to take place. The Hall of Fame inductions in Colorado Springs, Colorado.
Let's go! It's time for the highest marked ride in this arena, 93 points.
Allow me to reintroduce myself. My name is...
You're taking a look at a world champion bareback rider, Jess Pope, and a 93-point ride at the Extreme Bears and Bronx in Watford City, North Dakota. That was an arena record for Jess Pope to win the bareback riding competition on a horse called Lunatic Heaven. Oh, by the way, that happens to be the reigning world champion bareback horse. So you put the 2022 world champion bareback rider on the 2025 bareback horse, and you get a 93-point ride that sets an arena record.
It certainly did there at the Bears and Bronx, but let's just back up a little bit before we talk too much about that arena record. What happened in the first round of the bareback riding there? Well, let me just tell you that Jess Pope was a part of that as well. When you look at it, 87 points for the world champion bareback rider. Tons of fun was the horse that he did it on. Gathered up a little over $4,000, in fact, $4,321 for that third place finish in the first round from the Pope from Waverly, Kansas.
Yeah, Jess is off to a really good start this year. Ties in the top 5 in the world standings after that great performance in Watford City. And so that horse lived up to its name. Tons of fun. And Jess Pope, 87 points later, finds himself advancing on out of round number 1. Here's Weston Timmerman. Got a little work to do. Currently, the 22-year-old is, in 2024 NFR qualifier, is number 39 in the world standings. This will help on that black and white paint called Risky Business. Second place in round 1, 88.5. $5,847.
And when you look at it, Steve, I mean, sure, he's maybe had a little bit slower winter than the National Finals Rodeo bareback rider would like to have had. But here's the deal. We all know lots of rodeo season left. Don't panic. Don't worry anything about Weston Timmerman, because when he draws one like that, he can be 88.5, 89, 90 points and can win rodeos all across the country.
The last few rookie classes in the bareback riding have really contributed a lot to this sport. Mason Stuller, he's part of one of those recent rookie classes. He's on a horse called Ice Pick here. The round 1 winner, 89 points, $7,626. Mason out of the little town of Bonita outside of Eugene in Western Oregon, quietly putting together a great rodeo season. He is right now number 7 in the world standings.
Steve, I first remember seeing him at the National High School Finals. He ended up winning an all-around title there back when he was still in high school. And, of course, he used that horse very well, Ice Pick. That's a horse that Tanner Ross had placed on at Jackson, Mississippi, the Dixie National earlier this season. All right, let's get into another world champion. That is Dean Thompson. This is the shootout round. Remember, it's 2 nights of competition. You come right back in the shootout round that night. Dean Thompson teamed up with Shout and Shoes of the Sankey Pro Rodeo string. That's a National Finals Rodeo bucking horse for the world champion, 87 points, who's number 12 in the world.
Yeah, and that's an NFR horse, as Ty said. And you look at that spur ride, Dean Thompson was fired up, and he should have been. Let's talk about Jess Pope. So we started by showing you the highlights of this ride. Jess Pope, the Brookman Rodeo Company bucking horse, Lunatic Heaven, last year's bareback horse of the year. Jess Pope, the 2022 world champion, trying to get to his 7th NFR. They team up for a brand new arena record, 93 points.
If you're watching at home and you're thinking, man, that horse just looked like it was okay, I want to tell you, the bareback riders talk about that horse has a lot of strength to her. That horse has a lot of drop out of that rigging. That is the reason the judges award those kind of points when those are made on that kind of horse. There's the top earners in the bareback riding from the event in Watford City. Mason Stuller, he got out of there with a pile of money, almost $10,000 for him. Jess number 2 overall money, $7,300.
And so that's the way that the bareback riding works. Now it's Bears and Bronx. So let's talk about the saddle bronc riding and go to night number 1, round 1. Here is the first man we're going to show you, and it's Sage Newman. And the Montana Cowboy on the great horse Apollo finishes 2nd with an 87-point ride, $5,272.
Of course, Sage has been to the last handful of National Finals rodeos. When he draws a horse like that, he'll always be those kind of points for that guy. But he was not the only one that was tied in there at that number two place with 87. Another one is another national finalist, part of that big Canadian crowd of bronc riders right there. Feather Tickler teamed up with Kobe Wanchuk, the other 87-point to be tied for second with Sage Newman in the first round.
Yeah, $5,272 for Wanchuk. Currently number 14 in the Professional Rodeo Cowboys Association in the saddle bronc riding world champion. Championship race. Let's keep it in Canada. Q Taylor qualified for his first NFR last year. Harry Rocks, great horse, 88 points, $7,908 for Q Taylor.
Rides like this is going to help him get back into the top 15, which is exactly where Q Taylor belongs. As you mentioned, went to the NFR last year. He's just out of the top 15 right now at about number 18 in the world standings. But you keep running horses like Harry Rocks from the Three Hills Rodeo string underneath Q Taylor. We'll see him back inside the top 15 very soon.
The night one shootout. Here is the number one ride, and it's Cash Wilson out of South Dakota. This is Moose from the Birch Rodeo Company. 88.5 points. Ty, they win a lot of rodeos and make a lot of money on that NFR horse.
It's just something about that National Finals Rodeo bucking horse that the bronc riders like. Cash Wilson said, you know what, I like him a lot. 88.5 points later, and $3,000 later for another former national high school rodeo champion. I watched him win a saddle bronc riding title back a few years ago, but that was night one in the shootout round. As we show you night number two, how about Kobe Wanchuk? 91 points on Angel Cat.
I want you to look at his feet on this replay. We talk about all the time as rodeo announcers and on this show, you got to beat the horse to the front end. Look at his feet. Right before that horse's front feet hit the ground, every jump, boom, he's already there with him set. Boom, he's already there with him set. That is a picture-perfect spur ride for a saddle bronc rider. Kobe Wanchuk, he finished with the biggest mark, 91 points. Hugh Taylor finished with the biggest check, $9,400. All of those guys got out of town in pretty good shape.
Yes, they definitely did. Kobe was in there, high money winner at number two at $8,272. There's Sage Newman. There's Ben Anderson, Cash Wilson, rounding out your top five. We invite you to stay with us here on Western Sports Roundup, because when we return, that 91-point bronc ride that you just saw from that guy, Kobe Wanchuk, he will join us on the show. We'll talk all about it.
Kobe Wanchuk, Angel Cat. Look at him go. Look at the stroke. From the front end to the back end. A bronc rider's dream right here.
Big event over the weekend, Watford City, North Dakota. The PRCA Extreme Bears and Broncs. And boy, the scores were ginormous. We just told you Jess Pope set an arena record 93 in the bareback riding. Colby Wanchuk, the championship round, 91 points on a horse called Angel Cat. And Colby Wanchuk joins us on Western Sports Roundup. That's a Smith Pro Rodeo horse. Did you know that horse at all, Colby?
Yeah, I'd seen him at the finals this year and a couple other times. And when they come out with the draw, I was pretty excited. I knew I was going to have some fun.
Colby, watching back at that video, I mean, to me, that looks like just the perfect saddle bronc horse. I mean, he had the timing, and I got to say this, from where I'm sitting, he looked easy, but I'm sure that wasn't the case. But, man, that's kind of the ones you want to draw, isn't it?
Yeah, the announcer's got it right there. That's a bronc rider's dream. He's jumping high in the air, kicking hard, leaving you a lot of time to show off your skills and reach up, set your feet as high and as hard as you can, and yeah, show the crowd something cool, show the judges something cool.
Yeah. The judges marked this horse a 44, Colby, and they marked your spur ride a 47 out of a possible 50. You can't get much better than that. Tell us what you did right on that spur ride. If you were to, watch that ride and tell me what you thought.
Yeah, no, he was giving me every opportunity there, and especially as he slowed down and kind of got to finding a spot there towards the end, really gives the guy a chance to set his feet high and get your toes cranked out and try and poke your rein out there a bit and just paint that classic picture of a bronc ride.
Colby, when we look back at that weekend at Watford City, North Dakota, kind of take us through the entire weekend, because you have the long round, or they call it the first round there. You actually ended up tied for second in that round on a horse called Feather Tickler. You were 87. But explain how that works, because then that got you back to that bonus round where you just marked that 91 that Steve was talking with you about. Here's the ride of Feather Tickler. Let's hear about this one.
Yeah, that was just a good, solid horse. I knew he'd have a, kind of blow out of the chute there and then just jump and kick and give you every opportunity. I was faced with a bit of a tough decision. I'd made it back to the short round in Austin and had that good one drawn in Watford City, and I had a tough decision to make late at night and decided to go try Watford out. I knew Austin was going to be dang tough, and I figured this horse was a little better opportunity for me, and glad it paid off.
You know, I was just thinking on a big weekend like we just had with some rodeos going on across the country like Austin and some of those, North Dakota, they put on a great event, multiple stock contractors. What is it that attracted you, aside from these great horses, to go compete in Watford City?
Yeah, they've done a great job there. You know, they haven't been at that event for very long, but they've really put together a great set of horses, really even bunch, and had a great production. It was exciting. It was fun. Crowd was into it, and so were all the contestants. And horses bucked. Horses fed off that energy, and had a good match.
Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you there, Colby, but when you look at that weekend at Watford City, I mean, heck, you're going to total a little over $8,000 for the money that you gathered up there. Not a bad day in North Dakota, I would say. Would you agree?
You know, you can't complain about that. You got to take every opportunity you can and grab that cash when you get a chance, and just keep collecting until you get to the yellow shoots at the end of the year.
Colby, I was looking at the world standings. You are currently 14th out of, horse 15 go to the National Finals Rodeo in December. And there's still so much rodeo season left. But saddle bronc riders who win a lot of money. Stetson's got 135,000. Rusty's got 25,000, something like that. There you are at 36,000. Have you guys looked at it, started to look at it, and said, okay, here's what it's going to take. Here's what the cut line to be in the top 15 might be. Have you all started to think about that, or is it way too early to ask that question?
It's pretty early. Like you say, got a lot of rodeo left. I know it's going to take more money than it took last year to make the finals. All these rodeos are getting together and getting more sponsor money together, increasing their purses, and there's more events showing up every year. And a guy's got to keep his foot on the gas right through the end of September these days, and just take every opportunity he gets to win something. And you don't have that opportunity, find a way to place.
Colby, don't get me wrong. I mean, I think every event in the world of professional rodeo and the Women's Professional Rodeo Association is tough. But when we single out you saddle bronc riders for just a moment, how do you do it each and every weekend? Because you just mentioned, you were trying to make the decision about going to Austin to the finals or going to get on this good horse at Watford City. To make that choice, you thought Austin would be really, really tough the way the horses were lined up. I mean, when we watch one of these performances here on the Cowboy Channel with you guys will be stacked in there, 87, 87.5, 88, 88.5. What do you feel like you try to do that little bit of difference each and every time you nod your head to try to win first like you did at Watford City?
Yeah, it's such a great group of bronc riders going right now. I mean, everybody in the top 50 is tough and can come out and win a rodeo on any given day. So you just got to show up and let it all hang out. Leave no reservation. Don't hang on for a jump. Just reach up, spur as hard as you can every jump, and hopefully the chips fall and you come out champion in the end. But it's a grind for sure, and it's tough out there. Guys got to just go hard all year and don't let any horses get away from you.
As we make the transition now, Colby, from the end of March to the beginning of April, we're transitioned out of what we call the Texas swing, where you've got these great big rodeos that have all the prize money available, but also you can be there for a week or two. Is your travel schedule going to change a lot now? All of a sudden, are you Logandale, Nevada here, and then you're Redmond, Oregon over here, and then you're Red Bluff, California over here, and then you're Fallon, Nevada there, and you're how does your travel schedule change now that we move into April?
Yeah, I mean, we've been on the run all winter. It's nice we get to a place and hang out for a few days, but we've been running to the Cinch World's toughest rodeos out east, and running over to Tucson and all over the map. But they tend to spread out a little more in the spring, and say just show up for a day, and it's kind of where the travel agent part of our job comes into place. We got to find flights, find rides, rent cars, figure out ways to get to all these rodeos, and keep keep on rolling.
I guess basically as we get into this spring round of rodeos, it lets you contestants maybe take a little bit of a breath of fresh air to rest for a little bit throughout these rodeos to get you ready for that big summer run. Of course, that's coming up as it gets underway there about the early part of June. Colby, congratulations on what you did in Watford City, and thanks for visiting with us here on Western Sports Roundup. We appreciate you.
Thank you, guys.
That is Saddle Bronc rider Colby Wanchuk after a big weekend at Watford City, North Dakota. 91 points there in that bonus round to get the win. San Angelo Rodeo is going to get underway this weekend with the rodeo performances. Slack competition's already started. We'll have those updates for you when we return.
Well, let's take a look inside the San Angelo Stock Show and Rodeo in San Angelo, Texas, and congratulations to folks in San Angelo. Today we announce selected as one of the inductees into the ProRodeo Hall of Fame in 2026. Let's talk about team roping in San Angelo. They've already had slack tie, and it got fast in go-round number 1 with a 3.9.
Yeah, that's Stefan Ramon and Kelby Frizzell. Of course, Kelby last year's permit champion on the healing side. Yeah, those guys 3-9, $3,800 they've pocketed. They're going to compete in a couple go-rounds in the slack competition for the timed events. They're trying to get back to the top 80 into that progressive round, they call it, which will be scattered through all the performances which start this Friday.
Barrel Racing Slack is in a different building than the building where the actual rodeo takes place. Latricia Duke, 1569 on this horse called Carlos. Remember, this Palomino is only 6 years old and had a total of 5 runs prior to October the 1st. She finds herself right now on this horse in the number 3 spot in the WPRA.
And that's pretty normal for Latricia Duke. She trains these great horses. That's what she does each and every day. Not only she trains them, but she raises them as well. So, yeah, that is definitely going to be a part of it. Stay with us here on Western Sports Roundup. We'll wrap it all up when we come back.
Well, it's time for your Veterison Top 3 Western Sports Roundup headlines. Veterison, clean, treat, and heal. Brady Turgeon chasing the Resistol Rookie of the Year crown in a talented field of bull riders. 93 points in Ivins, Utah. That's an arena record for Brady Turgeon. He walked out of town with over $15,000 in the process.
That wasn't the only place an arena record was set. Watford City, North Dakota, in the bareback riding. Of course, Jess Pope had some big scores up there, including an arena record on the past world champion buck and horse. So congratulations to those guys in North Dakota. Watford City, it was home to some big scores, not only in the bareback riding, the saddle bronc riding as well. And a huge honor, a huge congratulations to the 2026 Hall of Fame at the Pro Rodeo inductees that'll be taking place in Colorado in July. Congratulations to each and every one of them that we announced with you here today.
Yeah, and those inductions, as Ty said, will take place in July. We are glad you joined us. God bless everybody. This is Western Sports Round.